So the Prime Minister is on a three-nation tour starting with Indonesia, and in Indonesia the Prime Minister was conferred with the highest civilian honour, the Bintang Adipurna of the Republic of Indonesia. BJP of course has hailed Indonesia's highest civilian honour for Prime Minister Narendra Modi and said that the award is a resounding slap on the opposition for spreading the Islamophobia narrative. Both nations have signed some key agreements in the health, education and other sectors, which also includes one on the establishment of an overseas campus of the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. Modi landed in Jakarta on Monday to a red carpet welcome in the first leg of his three-nation tour, and this will also cover Australia and New Zealand to strengthen trade and security cooperation between the nations. The two countries are also signing an implementation agreement on health, workforce collaboration, facilitating fellowship programs for health professionals and advancing mobility of qualified healthcare workers. We have Srinjoy and Akanksha, my colleagues, joining us on the broadcast. Let's go across to Srinjoy first. Next, I believe the Prime Minister is going to be addressing the Indonesian Parliament. Before we get more details from you on that, we have some breaking inputs coming in. Modi gets a new fan in Jakarta. Indonesian President turns Modi fanboy, says he idolizes Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So he went on to say, I copy Modi's career. An interesting comment there coming in, praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I'm sure there'll be multiple reactions on this as well in India. It will lead to some interesting reactions from the opposition. Meanwhile, let's go across to Srinjoy for more on this. Srinjoy, the Indonesian president says that he copies Prime Minister Narendra Modi's career and progress.
They are very good friends. They know each other for a while. And as you know, the Indonesian president has been in Delhi as chief guest for the Republic Day function. So these are comments that friends make to each other and in very, very good light. And clearly there is a feeling that Prime Minister Modi, who has been Prime Minister for about 12 years, he also has won 3 elections, which clearly shows that he has the charisma and he has the following in India. And that is what the President of Indonesia is referring to. He wants that charisma. He wants to win 3 elections. And which is why he is, as he said, a fan of the Prime Minister. But of course, when two top leaders like each other, they are friends, they are good friends. What happens is that the relation gets an upward bump, which is why you have seen, as Times Now has been reporting for the last 3-4 days, the brahmos deal has been done. Stuff with nickel and rare earths, all of that has been done, as also the Astra missile. So this is a clear sign that the two countries are close and they will get closer still.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Srinjoy, do stay on with us. Let me also bring in Akanksha into this conversation. You know, yes, there are agreements and, you know, there are honors that are bestowed on the heads of the states. But most importantly, such comments give you a sneak peek into the kind of relationship that the two leaders share.
Absolutely, Swati. And when Prime Minister is complimented and President Subianto goes on to say that he admires the progress that Prime Minister Modi has made and that there is no copyright on that, it's also Indonesia looking towards India's growth story as a development model, as a blueprint for Indonesia's own growth. I just want to quickly share some points for which we have been told through our interactions with diplomats. This is how the engagement has gone forward under the aegis of Prime Minister Modi and President Subianto ever since this bilateral relationship was elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership back in the year 2018 when Prime Minister visited last. So several Indonesian delegations have already traveled to India only to study systems within our country, which is the public digital infrastructure. You also have Agri-Stack and India's fertilizer subsidy reforms, public distribution system, rice fortification simplification. Much of that has also reflected in the MOUs that have been signed between India and Indonesia, 14 of them in total. Indonesia also looking towards India selling the BrahMos missiles. So that also burnishes our credibility when it comes to becoming defense sellers. And this is going to be the second country that will be looking towards defense purchases from us. The first, of course, being the Philippines. More importantly, Indonesia also
Since
is
you're talking
a country
about
with
the MOUs, the agreements, let's also break down details of an interesting one. Let's also tell our viewers about how curious Indonesia is when it comes to the electoral process in India, how it has been following, observing the electoral process in India, and now wants to strike a deal to modernize its own system. Akanksha and Srinjoy, stay on with us. So India and Indonesia have signed more than 10 agreements, like Akanksha was telling us. This also includes a key deal for EVM. Both nations have inked an agreement on cooperation in the electoral process, including collaboration and export of customized Indian special electronic voting machines. India and Indonesia will deepen their partnership on election management alongside the export of customized Indian electronic voting machines. Now, these are